Waiting for PS Vitesse.
I'm getting the same thing. Okay. We'll have to...
Right, here we go, here we go. Right. Check it now.
Okay.
Maybe?
Yep, there it goes.
So I was meant to press go live. So on the studio you meant to press go live.
Gotcha. Okay, well, we are up and running.
We're up, we're up.
Alright, hello and welcome everyone to the Suzuka circuit for the Japanese Grand Prix here at PS Vitesse. We are here for round 11 of the championship event in Season 5. It's good to be back here with PS Vitesse for another exciting race, and of course we're here in Suzuka for a very exciting track that is sure to give us an amazing race. So let's talk about where we are and this track itself. So we are at the Suzuka circuit, which is 76 kilometers away from Tokyo. And in terms of this track, it's got a circuit length of 5.807 kilometers, and it's a 3.807 miles long track. There's also 18 turns that also have one DRS zone to help encourage overtaking. So there's the one DRS straight down the pit straight, of course, and that's in between turn 18 and turn 1. That'll be the best place to make an overtake. And I keep forgetting there's no DRS here, but it acts kind of like a DRS straight, and that's in between turn 14 and 16. This is going to be the best place to make an overtake, even if there's no DRS zone. And of course, that's where the corner 130R is, and that's a very famous corner for making overtakes as well. So we're definitely in for a great race in terms of overtaking and action as well. So let's get into this race, and as I said, we're back with PS Vitesse for the F4 stream here today. This is round 11 of the Season 5 championship event in F4. So right now we got Key on provisional pole position, a 129.5, and you join us with 7 minutes remaining of the qualifying session here today. The comms booth, it's myself, Formula Jonah, and joining me in the commentary booth is Leslie the Twig. Now, Lazy, wait, hold on, I'm sorry, I pronounced that. Did I pronounce that wrong? I think I pronounced that wrong.
Leslie the Twig.
Leslie the Twig.
You got it.
All right. So, Leslie the Twig, you crashed out in the qualifying session. I know you're going to be racing. Very good racer, of course. So, would you mind maybe talking to us while you're sitting here in the booth, and then you'll get back on the racing track?
Yeah, of course. Yeah, I'll co-commentate this rest of the quality session with you, and then you can cut to me whenever you want during the race, if I'm still in the race, that is, hopefully.
Awesome. Okay. Well, yeah, of course. We'll get Leslie the Twig on board a few points in this race, of course. And as you just mentioned, you'll be racing as well. Now, this track is a very difficult track to manage. Now, you're out of this qualifying session. You're going to be starting towards the back of the field. I think you're going to be starting P12 because Inoshia Kai is out of the session as well. But I want to get your opinion on this track. What's your thoughts on the Suzuka circuit, and what's your hopes about this Grand Prix? Where do you think you're going to finish?
Honestly, I'm just going to try and survive. This is just not a track for me at all. It's not a track for most pad users. If you're on a wheel, this is going to be a very good track for you. It's just all about keeping the car on the track and keeping it stable for the guys on pad. So if I finish, I'll be happy. If I finish in the points, then that's just a bonus for me. I'm not looking to pick up loads of points here.
Okay, yeah, I mean, like, hopefully you'll get some fun out there, too, because, of course, I've heard a lot of people say that this circuit is a lot of fun as well. It may be challenging. I know from experience that it is challenging. Crashed out many different times in a race here. But I know it's a very exciting track, a very special track, a very historic track as well. It's hosted many different Formula 1 races in the past. Do you find that this track is a great circuit in, like, historic terms, or is it just a difficult circuit in general to drive?
No, I think it's a really good track. I really like it. It's just on this game I can't do anything with it. And it's been very good. Oh, I think Luke's crashed out.
Yeah, he crashed
Sure
out. Was that in the pit lane or was that on track? I think that was. I think that's the Williams in turn 12.
Yes, I think you're right. But no, anyway, back to what I was saying. No, I think it's a very historical track. I think it's a really, really fun track to drive. It's just, yeah, it's just a shame on this game. It's just near enough impossible to keep on the track for myself, anyway.
Yeah, totally understandable, and I gotta agree with you as well, that this circuit can be so difficult to actually drive in this year's game. It's a very, very difficult circuit to drive, but that's also what makes it exciting, you know, in a way. It's a challenging circuit, and that's why Monaco's so famous. It's a challenging circuit, but drivers have to push themselves to be able to get a good performance. But I gotta agree with you as well, this track is very historic as well, so in both areas, it's great. It's an amazing track, but I think why we're talking about this and why I asked you actually is because I think coming into this race, it's going to be difficult for drivers to kind of keep it on track. We may see a few spinners in this race just because how difficult this track is. Sector 1 in particular is a really, really difficult place to be. But it's going to be an interesting challenge out there for those drivers, and I think it's going to be a fun one to commentate on.
No, yeah, definitely. We'll see a couple of spinners. You'll probably commentate over myself spinning. But no, you will. The curves are not great here, as you can see. Big Boy June going through Sector 1. Curves are spitting him out at the moment, but he's managing to keep it on track. But yeah, it's one little mistake or one touch of a curb, then your race could be over.
Yeah, and what's interesting too is that right on board with Big Boy Jun and a few others as well as Jun goes purple in the first sector, so going quickest overall in that. Let's see if he can improve on his time and go fastest overall. But yeah, riding on board with Big Boy Jun and a few other drivers have noticed that they've been getting a lot of understeer, especially through the first sector. And while the curbs might be dangerous, the car's been kind of thrown out onto those curbs, not purposely by the driver, but just by the car itself. It seems like a lot of these drivers are getting a lot of understeer through the corners, and that's forcing them to go wide, especially in those tight, difficult S's of Sector 1.
Yeah, it is. Oh, we've got another one. Vicensky's out in that first sector, so we've got another retirement in this qualifying session as June does go fastest. Wow.
Oh my goodness.
That's tight.
Super tight between Key and June. That is just 3 1,000ths of a second separating the top two there.
That's mental. And with Key still to do his final lap. He's only got to find a little bit of time to regain that P1. But no, the understeer here is, yeah, it's not great at all. Really not fun. You just got to cope. It's whoever copes best with this challenging track, really.
Yeah, I think that's what it is, really. It's just, you gotta kind of go through it. You gotta kind of just challenge yourself, but also just make sure that you keep it consistent. I think that's a big thing here today, with, like you said, the understeer being very difficult. Just a lot of factors to play into this Grand Prix. But I think a few drivers are about to start their laps and finish their laps as well. Carrot Finger right now in third place. He has to gain, I'd say, around 0.2 of a second. And that's definitely possible to take pole position for the Haas driver. At the moment, I think he leads the championship off of Key. He's got a very, very huge lead over the McLaren driver in the championship standings. So let's see what he can do. But he is third fastest as it stands. Let's see what his Sector 1 time is.
Here it comes. Goes up about 1/10.5. Just about manages to keep within track limits. So he's still good for this. We do have a new driver today, actually. Currently P4, Steve Anza. An Italian driver. So making his PS Vitesse debut. He's currently on his final lap as well. So it'll be interesting to see where these drivers all end up.
Yeah, good luck to Steve Anza there in the AlphaTauri. Definitely good luck to him, and wish the best for his career in PS Vitesse. And actually, he's going to be the first driver to actually finish a lap. Could he start his career on pole of the Japanese Grand Prix? Let's see, as he comes to the line now, the AlphaTauri driver, the Italian driver for the Italian team, goes pole and does start off his career on pole position for now, unless someone can improve. Key is out of the session, so Carrot Finger, can he grab it? No, he cannot. So the top 4 are all sitting there. Key is also retired from the session. He was purple in the first sector. This could be Stianza's first ever pole position on his debut in PS Vitesse.
I think it is. Worry Cloud, I think, has invalidated. Everyone else has finished or retired. So yeah, there we go. The Italian takes pole on his debut.
Incredible. Absolutely incredible there from Stianza. Pole position in his debut. I cannot believe that's just happened. A very good. That was a great start to his career.
Yeah, that's just what he needs. That's a great confidence booster coming into your first league race in this league. So it'll be a good fight up there. I'm starting P11s, so I'll be on the fresh tyres. So I'm just going to see what happens in front of me. Hopefully stay on the track, and hopefully, Brim, you will get a decent race.
I very much hope for that exact same thing, a decent race, and I think we're going to get that. And also, best of luck to you, mate. You're starting P11, as you mentioned. That, I think, might be a really good position for today's race. I mean, P11, you're going to start on the freshest tires on the grid. You'll have an option to pick between the softs or the mediums. So, best of luck to you, mate, and hope you get a good result.
Thank you very much. Thank you. I will flick my microphone up. If you want to cut to me at all, try and do it on the home straight, and I'll flick my mic down so I can speak to you if you need me.
Alright, will do. Alright, so viewers, we're going to let Leslie the Twig go and prepare for the race. Of course, as we did mention, he is starting P11 on the grid. Definitely will get a nice chance of getting a result. And I think this race is going to be a very interesting one, guys, in a really good way, because we have so many different drivers out there that could win this race. I think the biggest story coming into this Grand Prix is the pole by our debut driver in PS Vitesse. Anza starts on pole for AlphaTauri. The Italian driver for an Italian team starts on pole at the Japanese Grand Prix in his debut. Now, the question is, it may be excitement right now, but can he convert that into a race victory? He's got to keep focused, though. He's got to lead down into turn 1. That's what's going to be critical for around here, because the thing is, I mean, I said this at the intro, but overtaking is not the best for around here. I mean, there's a lot of overtaking opportunities like turn 1, turn 11, and turn 16, but the thing is that there's not too many places to overtake. You don't really have too many opportunities to make an overtake. And compared to other circuits like Bahrain or Austria or Brazil, there's a lot of places to overtake in those races. But here in Suzuka, it's a very different story. So what that means is basically whoever kind of is leading the Grand Prix has to stay there down into turn 1. If you lead down into turn 1, you're going to have a really good shot at winning this. If you don't, it's going to be a little bit more harder to win this race. But we'll see how it all goes. There's the predicted pit stop strategy powered by AWS there. The soft to hard strategy could be the best option for around here. In my opinion, that's not the best strategy, but of course that could be a good strategy. It just depends on your driving style, of course, and weather. But right now, riding on board with Stianza in that AlphaTauri, it looks pretty dry out there. A few clouds up in the sky, but it looks pretty good for weather conditions. Looks pretty much dry. So going back to what I was saying about strategy, the thing is that soft to hard is definitely a good strategy for around here, but I prefer to take a soft to medium strategy. And I know that sounds a little bit crazy, but it's definitely possible. I think pitting around lap 13, lap 12, somewhere around there, like lap 13, lap 14, I would say, probably around there, pit for the mediums, and then just kind of push. You have the opportunity to have a lot more pace in those tires, and where the hards, if you pit early, you may lose a little bit of time, a little bit of pace in those early stages of your pit stop. And of course, later on, you will have a much fresher tires, but you may lose out in that little window of pitting. So we'll see how it all works out. Soft to hard is definitely a good strategy. Soft to medium is a good strategy. Even medium to soft, that could be a great strategy as well. But let's do a rundown of the grid for the PS Vitesse F4 race in Japan. Stianza, the debut driver in PS Vitesse here today, starts on pole. What a way to start off his league racing experience in PS Vitesse by starting on pole in his first ever race. Let's see if he can convert that into a race victory. He's got Big Boy Jun in the Alpine, starts alongside him. Let's see what Big Boy Jun can do. Can he challenge Stianza down into turn 1? We will find out. Key in the McLaren starts third with his championship rival Carrotfinger in P4. Carrotfinger is the championship leader, and let's see what he can do. He starts P4. Ender is P5 with LR Delta, the last of the soft compound runners in P6. Worried Cloud, Bavessier, Vaneski, and then we got Luke 2 Red, Leslie the Twig, Reflection, and Enoshia Kai rounding off the grid for the Japanese Grand Prix here at Suzuka. So the drivers are ready to go. We are ready to get a great race here today at Suzuka for PS Vitesse. The lights are out. And away we go for racing here in PS Vitesse in F4. And it's a pretty good start for the front runners there. Big Boy Jun got a better start than Stianza though. Leads down into turn 1. The Haas driver of Carrotfinger looking to go down the inside of the AlphaTauri. And you know what? It's worked out for him. Now here comes Key trying to go side by side with the AlphaTauri driver. Down into turn 3 and 4 we go. It looks like Ender and Bavessier are going side by side. There's Worried Cloud going off the track. It looks like that's Bavessier trying to make a move on Ender, who goes a little bit too wide there. That allows Bavessier to try and go round the outside of the Alfa Romeo with a little bit of contact as both make a little bit of contact on turn 7. It looks like Bavessier will just about get ahead of the Alfa Romeo. Great start by Leslie the Twig as well at the P7 on the fresh medium compound. That's great for him as he's going to be challenging Ender, who's now in P6. Looks like Stianza has been overtaken by Key. Oh, his Key spun around. Key has spun around. That's what happened there. I wonder what happened. I wonder if he touched the inside curb or maybe made contact with Stianza there. But Key down to P10. The driver that is second place in the championship is down to 10th position. That's allowed a few other drivers to move up into their current positions as it stands, but that's unfortunate for Key. The first spinner of the day is now in P10, but he definitely will be recovering from that one. We got Worried Cloud also down in P13. I think he went a little too wide at turn 6. It was right before that long left-hander, if I'm not mistaken. At turn 7, I think he was going side by side with Bavessier, if I'm not mistaken. And I think there may have been a little bit of contact, or Worried Cloud just went a little too wide and unfortunately lost out. As Big Boy Jun starts the second lap of the Grand Prix, leads the race as Carrotfinger now in second place. Not the best of starts for Stianza as he's in P3 and has a 3-second time penalty as well for corner cutting already on the first lap. I wonder if he got maybe he went a little too much on the curb and got like 2 warnings or something like that, and that got a penalty right after. That could have been. He's been overtaken by. Oh no, he's spun. Stianza spun. He's got no win. This is horrible for Stianza, the pole sitter in today's race. It's not been the best of race so far for him, but Stianza off the track. I think he spun on the exit of 6, and oh, he spins around again. He's going to be down in P12. And it's not been the best of a start for the AlphaTauri driver. He has hit the wall, has wing damage as well. He's going to have to pit and kind of go slowly on this lap to come and get into the pit lane. So he's going to have to recover from this one as he gets another 3-second time penalty for going a little too wide there. It's not been the best of the day for the AlphaTauri driver, but he can definitely turn it around. Maybe there's a safety car, maybe some weather towards the end of the race. We can see how that all works out. Oh, that is Enoshia Kai that has just hit the wall. That could be a full course safety car. That's sector 2. That's a virtual safety car that has been called out. That is at turn 12, and it might have been contact with Worried Cloud, as both were side by side, I think, at the exit of the hairpin. But that is Enoshia Kai out of the Grand Prix. Here comes that AlphaTauri driver just going around the Red Bull there. But it's not been the best of starts for Enoshia Kai in today's races. He's going to be out of the Grand Prix, but he'll definitely rejoin at the next one. I'm unfortunate to see a retirement already early into this Grand Prix, but that's how it goes. And Enoshia Kai will come back stronger at the next one. Vincenski comes into the pit lane as DRS is enabled. On lap 3, the Williams driver comes into the the pit lane onto a fresh set of soft compound tires. This is quite interesting from Vincenski. He thinks that he's going for possibly the two-stop strategy, going quite early here. It was no wing damage for the Williams driver. He just came in and pit for a set of tires. So very interesting strategy from Vincenski there, but we'll see if it works out for him. As Stianza comes into the pit lane and has a 5-second penalty there. Unfortunately, I think he got that from just speeding in the pit lane. I think what happened is that because he's got no downforce in the car, he couldn't really stop to kind of avoid the 5-second penalty, and because you have to kind of brake a lot at the entrance of this pit lane, and unfortunately gave him that 5-second penalty. But we'll see if he can come back from this one. He's been P12. I'd say he's not too far away from LR Delta. I don't really know the Delta right now. It's not giving me the interval to the driver ahead. But he's not too far away from LR Delta. He could catch the Mercedes driver. We got Leslie Twig on Ender. I think that's our closest battle right now. The Aston Martin driver looking to make a move on the Alfa Romeo driver. As here he comes. Oh, that's a yellow flag, as I do believe that might be Key going a little slowly there. Maybe he got too much on the curb or the grass or something like that. I saw that he rejoined the session. That could have been because he maybe rejoined the session and just slowly went on to kind of recover from leaving the session. I wonder if that was contact. As Leslie the Twig makes a move on Ender, up into P4 now. Great move from Leslie the Twig. He is up into 4th place, and a very, very good move for the Aston Martin driver. He goes a little bit too wide though. Ender looking for the move on the Aston Martin driver, but can't get past. Leslie the Twig stays ahead of that Alfa Romeo. Up at the front, we got Carrot Finger and Big Boy Juin also having a nice little battle for first place in the Grand Prix. I think Carrot Finger has put the foot down. He's saying, I want to challenge Big Boy Juin. I want to go for a win in this race. So let's see, as Big Boy Juin still keeps ahead of that Haas driver. Carrot Finger, I don't think he's going to try and make the move into turn 11. He didn't try it, of course. But look at this. What a run he got out of there. Big Boy Juin did not get the best of starts. He's in 8th gear. What's going on with Big Boy Juin? Something happened to the Alpine driver. Carrot Finger moves up into 1st place. I was going to say he got a great exit, and he did, of course, but Big Boy Juin did not get the best of an exit out of there. Stayed in 8th gear. I have no idea why, but very interesting. So he unfortunately lost a lot of speed out of that corner. That allowed Carrot Finger to get up into 1st place. But now Big Boy Juin's going to have the opportunity to make a move on the Haas driver, because the DRS zone's coming up and he's a lot closer. Oh, is Big Boy Juin has spun around. I think he got too much on the power there. That is the driver that was up into the race lead for a while. 2nd place is now down to P6. He moves down into 6th position now, and this is not the best of a start for Big Boy Juin. He's going to have to come out of that as, oh, a little contact possibly with the Williams of Luke to Red, trying to move on the Alpine driver. But the Williams looks to fight that one back, but he's not going to get the move quite yet. As, oh, he gets very close to the back of Big Boy Juin. I wonder if Juin just got a little too much on the power out of the chicane. It looks like that was the case there. And unfortunately, he is down to P6. But this has allowed Vitesse now to get up into 2nd place now. The Mercedes driver really pushing the car right now to try and catch Carrot Finger at the 1st sector. I do believe that is the P8. He's going to be down into P8. And he's going to be just ahead of his team, making his way through the field quite rapidly. Some team orders as well. Looks like there's going to be, as the Williams went a little too wide. Oh, Luke Tourette is out of the race. That could be a full course safety car, and it is a full course safety car that has been deployed. The full course safety car is out. Luke Tourette is out of the race. That's what brought that out. That was a major crash for the Williams driver. We'll get an onboard with Key and see how that all worked out. But now this has allowed a lot of drivers to catch the field. As, oh, you can see that car just in the wall at the exit of the hairpin. That was a major crash for the Williams driver. But look up at the front. We got Carrot Finger, Bevessier, Leslie the Twig, and then we got Ender and Reflection all into the pit lane. The top 5 all come into the pits. Onto, I'm assuming, a fresh set of mediums, it looks like, for a few drivers. Bevessier, Leslie the Twig, Carrot Finger, it looks like Ender as well. Oh, Ender's onto the softs. That's actually interesting. Everyone on the mediums except Ender, who's gone onto the soft compound tire. So Ender definitely committing for the 2-stop here. And it looks like everyone that pit for the mediums, they could definitely go to the end of the race on the medium tire. But that's only if they conserve the tires, like, a lot. And I don't think these drivers are going to want to do that. And that's, like, basically what you're going to have to do is you're going to have to kind of lift and coast through a lot of these corners, stay in higher gears. That's going to be another good thing for them to do if they want to conserve the tires. But I don't think these drivers are going to want to do that. I think they're going to want to push, and it might be a better strategy to go for the two-stop strategy, and I think that might be what these drivers are going for. And it looks like they'll probably go medium, medium, soft, or whatever tire they started on. You know, I'm assuming they're probably all going to go to the soft tires at the end of it. So Worried Cloud leads us away. The Ferrari driver has not pitted in the Grand Prix. He stayed out on his 5-lap-old medium tires. Carrot Finger takes over as the provisional race leader once Worried Cloud does come into the pit lane. Bevessier P3 now, Leslie the Twig in P4. Vincenski, who pit earlier on of those soft compound tires, has stayed out, and that was the best strategy for him. Now he's in a really good position of getting a good result here today, but he's in P5 on those 2-lap-old soft tires. Same with Ender, but he's on fresh new sets of softs, so that could work out in his favor as well, and he's going to be the fastest driver on the track with those fresh new fastest tires. Of course, they are soft, so we'll see how that all works out. And while we're under safety car conditions, Leslie the Twig, would you mind if we quickly just asked you a question?
Hello, Jonah.
Hi, I just want to say, first off, great start to you. Would you mind if we asked you a quick question?
Yeah, go for it.
All right, so you have switched to the medium compound tires, and I just want to get one of the drivers' perspectives on this. Are you planning on going for the 2-stop, or are you planning to go for the 1-stop?
I'm not sure, really. I didn't want to go onto the hards, because I just don't want to touch the hards around here. And obviously softs weren't going to do much, so that's a guaranteed 1-stop, so I just thought, stick on a fresh set of mediums. If they can last, they can last. If they can't, we throw a set of softs on for the end.
I think that's a smart strategy, and I definitely think that is the best strategy in this situation right here, so go for it. That's all I can say, really. Just go for it. You're doing a great job right now, and good luck for the rest of the race.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much.
Alright, so we'll definitely see how Leslie the Twig can get on. He's in P4 right now under the safety car. He's just got Bevessier, Carrot Finger, and Worried Cloud ahead of him. The drivers he may have to worry about is Vincenski and Ender, who are both on the soft compound tires. That could work out really well for these two as well, but they're going to have to probably pit for the mediums towards the end of the Grand Prix. And we know Vincenski will definitely have to pit for the medium tire because he started on the soft compound tire. So he'll go soft, and the regulations do say that you have to pit onto a different set of compound at least once in the Grand Prix. So that means Vincenski has to pit for the mediums, the hards, or even the wets or intermediates, but that's not going to happen. It will be the mediums or the hards. So that means Vincenski is going for the fastest time right now. He is going for those fastest tires right now. We'll see how it all works out as we head into the end of the safety car. And before we get underway, as the safety car actually does go in this lap, I want to quickly just tell you guys that if you guys are watching the stream right now, thanks so much for watching. Leave a like and subscribe to the channels. We're streaming on the PS Vitesse YouTube channel, so definitely subscribe to that. Oh, that is, I think, Leslie the Twig moved down to P5. Wonder if that was maybe a mistake or something like that, but he's moved down to P5 as the safety car comes in this lap. I'll do the promoting stuff in a little bit as we're going to get the race underway. But look at this, we got Bevessier going for a move on Carrot Finger. We know how Bevessier can make a lot of moves. That proved that at France, I do believe that the track was, when he made some amazing moves on, I think it was actually Carrot Finger, into a few of those corners. Especially, he really liked that, I think it was turn 11, when he went down the inside multiple times on drivers. So Bevessier really finds an opportunity to make an overtake, and he's doing that right now, pressurizing Carrot Finger to try and get up into second place, which of course will be first once Worried Cloud does pit. But look at the exit he got off of turn 8, as he got a much better exit than Carrot Finger. And so now he's going to have the opportunity to make a move on the Haas driver. Oh, Whoa, that was a glitch, I think, as it looked like he was just going to go in the back of Carrot Finger, but it looks like that didn't happen. It was all a glitch. No idea why that happened, but just a glitch. Anyway, we move on. Vitesse was looking for a move on Carrot Finger, cannot get past the Haas driver right now. Vincenski's moved up into P4. Leslie the Twig is down to P5. It looks like he lost the place to Vincenski. I think that was under the exit of the safety car. Don't know what that was about, but he'll try and make a move on Vincenski. Now, Vincenski's softs are 4 laps old, so those softs are going to start degrading in a few laps' time, probably around, I'd say, 8 laps of the soft compound tires. Then they're going to start degrading. Right now, they're pretty good tires, as he's going to just keep ahead of Leslie the Twig right now. Now, the DRS is not enabled for the next 2 laps. But look at the Aston Martin driver. He is absolutely flying right now, trying to catch that Williams as fast as possible. And you can just see up the road, the battle for second is getting really interesting. And actually, the battle for first is really getting interesting as well, because Worried Cloud is right involved in that. Now, Worried Cloud's tires are 8 laps old, so it's no wonder that Carrot Finger and Vitesse are starting to close on the Ferrari driver. But right now, Worried Cloud is pulling out a few tenths of a second off of Carrot Finger. Good job by the Ferrari driver. He's doing a really well. Job right now. Doing a great job as it stands. Let's see if he can just continue the pace. That's what's all going to be about, you know, because these mediums, they're not going to last at that peak efficiency forever. But Worried Cloud really doing a good job right now with those mediums. Let's see if he can just continue the pace. Carrot Finger right behind, though. He is starting to close that gap just a little bit off of Worried Cloud, and that's just down to the cornering speed of the Haas driver compared to the Ferrari driver, just because of those tires. You know, Worried Cloud's tires are a lot more degraded than Carrot Finger's, of course. So, yeah, there is a difference there, and that will affect tire grip as well. But Vitesse starting to lose a little bit of time to Carrot Finger, I think. Carrot Finger putting on the power right now. He's going for it right now. He wants to get ahead of Worried Cloud. Worried Cloud has gained a little bit of time through the chicane there. So we have Key and Stianza side by side. The AlphaTauri and the McLaren. We have a nice little battle here for P7. The McLaren trying to make a move on the AlphaTauri, but here comes Big Boy June as well, who had that spin, trying to make a move on the McLaren driver. We also have Stianza and Reflection going side by side. 2 pairs of drivers going side by side down into turn 1, and it looks like the Alpine. Oh, there is Big Boy June, and that's Reflection off the track. That is the Alpine that has been spun. I do believe that. Oh no, that's Big Boy June in the Alpine that has been spun around. There was contact with Big Boy June and Reflection. The 2 Alpines made contact, and unfortunately, that's sent Big Boy June off the track. Look at Key though, trying to make a move. He's going for it into turn 7. He was looking for the move, but couldn't make it quite yet. But look at that McLaren all over the back of the Alpine. There's not enough space to make the move into turn 8. Of course, he got a little bit worse of a exit out of turn 8, but now is starting to find a lot of pace on Reflection. The McLaren driver really putting the power down against Reflection here. Now, Key's tires are a little bit worn compared to Reflection, so I think the tire wear will be pretty similar though. Stianza though, his tires are 6 lap old. So Stianza actually has a little bit more worn tires, but he's keeping ahead of Reflection and Key as it stands. Key's going to have another opportunity, though, to try and make a move. But look at Carrot Finger on the back of Worried Cloud. We have a lot of moves going on here. The top 3 just separated by just a few tenths of a second. We also have a nice battle for 4th place. Vincenski, Leslie the Twig, and Ender. As we saw, an amazing camera angle of the Williams. As meanwhile, we got Carrot Finger and making a move on Worried Cloud, who's been also overtaken by Vitesse. Vitesse made a move as well. So we have Leslie the Twig making a move on the Williams. It looks like Ender going side by side with Vincenski as well, but it looks like the Williams just about keeps ahead. Leslie the Twig got ahead of Vincenski. As meanwhile, we got Big Boy June spinning off at the exit of turn 18, I think, as Ender goes a little bit wide there, loses a little bit of time to his rival Vincenski in P5 as it stands, but he still is on the back of the Williams driver. Stianza, Reflection, and Key also battling for position. They've kind of caught the rest of the drivers here, so that's quite interesting as well. A lot of battles going on here. It's been a very interesting Grand Prix. As here comes Ender Got a better exit out of turn 11 on Vincenski. We got Reflection and Key side by side as well. Reflection keeps ahead of the McLaren driver, though. The McLaren using that slipstream off the Alpine. You don't see a lot of moves into this corner. Verstappen and Vettel, 2018. That's what this reminds me of. But Key down the inside of the Alpine driver. And what a move that was from the McLaren driver. The driver in the second place in the championship just proved why he is in second place in the championship. Absolutely going for it. And that McLaren is up into P8. Very good move by Key, but Reflection isn't giving this one up. As we get an amazing camera angle, Reflection backs off though, cannot make the move on the McLaren quite yet, so Key keeps ahead. Meanwhile, battle for second now. Word Cloud and Bavessier looking to trade positions there. Word Cloud got ahead. Bavessier re-overtook him though, as Vincenski and Ender side by side. Looks like the Alfa Romeo got ahead, and now the battle for 7th, 8th, and 9th has joined the battle for 5th and 6th, so there's now a 5-way fight for P5. Meanwhile, Leslie the Twig has caught up to Worried Cloud. The Aston Martin driver absolutely flying right now. And it looks like that's Stanza, who's out of the race. Big Boy June retires at the same time. That could be some sort of safety car. That is a full core safety car that has been deployed. A second safety car is out on track, and that's because two drivers have retired at the same time. Stanza and Big Boy June, the two drivers who started first and second in the Grand Prix, are out of the Japanese Grand Prix. Oh no! Bavessier gets a drive-through penalty for speeding under safety car. This is horrible for the Mercedes driver, as now he's going to be down the order because he's going to have to pit when the safety car goes in this lap. And this is going to relieve the stress off of Carrot Finger's shoulders here. He's going to have a really good shot at winning this race. But Bavessier going to have to serve that drive-through penalty. And unfortunate to see that, of course, but these things do happen, and definitely he'll come back from this one. Hopefully, maybe there'll be another safety car or something like that once he does pit for the drive-through penalty. I'm expecting Word Cloud to come into the pit lane as well, as he's on 11-lap old medium. Says, oh, Carrotfinger comes into the pit lane as well. Looks like everyone will come into the pit lane, and that is a very smart decision as well, because the thing is that the mediums might not last at the end of the Grand Prix. It's better just to stay out. But what's interesting is that Ender and Key stay out on track. Ender on those 6-lap old soft tires. He's definitely going to have to pit again. Same with Key, I think. That is extremely... That's really interesting, actually. That's the word I was looking for. Key and Ender stay out. Very, very interesting. Now, what's also interesting is that Carrotfinger and Bavessier have... oh, what's going on here? I think there was there drivers getting penalties there? Or no, that was just my... they were just coming out of the pit lane. They were... the graphic was coming up there. But... Carrotfinger come out on the medium compound tires, but Bavessier on the soft compound tires. Worried Cloud on the hard compound tires. This is very interesting, a very mixed up strategy for all these three drivers. Carrotfinger, the race leader, pits onto the mediums. Bavessier in second place as it stands. He's fourth right now, but once everyone does pit, you know, all that sort of situation there. Bavessier on the softs, and Worried Cloud on the hards. This is very interesting. Very, very interesting. What is going on here? Drivers are swapping positions under safety car. I do not know what's going on. I think something's going on with a, maybe one driver overtook another driver, and now they're trying to give the position back to make sure they don't get the penalty. Oh, it's a little bit, I think it's one of those glitches that Cody's does there, with, if you slightly put your wing ahead.
Hello, Jonah.
Hello! So, right now, you're having a great race.
Yeah, I'm currently dealing with a bit of lag.
Are you?
Yeah, that's why I lost the position at the other safety car restart, because I was lagging, and I've been having it ever since, so... I may have to leave the party, so it's probably been a real pain for Ender and Vincenski racing around me, so I can only apologise to them, but I may have to just leave the party and then I'll jump back in once the race is finished, so I don't want to ruin anyone's race through my connection.
Yeah, totally understandable if you want to do that. Yeah, just do whatever you need to do.
Yeah, I'll quit the party in a second if you If you had any questions, I don't know if you have any. If not,
Yeah, sure. Well, first off, you're on the soft compound tires. Do you think those are going to last the end of the Grand Prix, or are you just going for it? And what's your hopes for this Grand Prix? Maybe getting past Worry Cloud at the start?
no, I don't think these softs will last. It's annoying because I've used both sets of mediums, but I need to change compounds. And I think Vitesse had the same issue. So yeah, we're on the softs. I'm just going to go for it. Hopefully another VSC or a safety car, and then I'll box for another soft pair. But yeah, at the moment my strategy is out the window, so I'm just going to go with it and just see what happens.
All right. Yeah, well, best of luck to you, of course. And hope the strategy works out for you. I'm sure you already know this, but you know, a good way of conserving the tires would be to shifting up into one gear more. Like if you shift down into first gear for this particular corner, the hairpin. Maybe shift down into second gear. That could help with tire wear as well.
Yeah, definitely. I'll try and do as best as I can. But yeah, it sounds like a good race so far. So hopefully enjoy the last 10 or so laps.
All right.
I'll speak to you at the end.
Sounds good. All right. Well, enjoy your rest of the race and good luck.
Thank you very much. See you in a bit.
All right. So we got the race. I think the safety car should be coming in this lap. Ender will lead us away. But what I wanted to say before all this was happening, I wanted to just wanted to let you guys know that we are streaming on the PS Vitesse YouTube channel, and at the same time we are streaming on the Formula Jonah Twitch channel as well. So if you guys don't have YouTube, you can check out Twitch as well, and vice versa. If you don't have Twitch, you can check out YouTube, as we have both streams going at this time. So guys, just want to let you guys know to swap back in between and follow and subscribe to both. 5-second penalty for Worried Cloud as the safety car goes in this lap. Ender will lead us away, and he's got a pretty good start off of Key already. And Carrot Finger's got a really good start too, trying to make a move on his championship rival. They are on different strategies as it stands, though. Oh, Ender goes a little bit too wide there. Allows Key to try and make the move on the Alfa Romeo driver. Cannot get past. Goes possibly for the switchback maneuver. Key looking for the move, as that is Worried Cloud. That is out of the race. He is spun off at, I do believe, that is at the exit of turn 2, I do believe. That's unfortunate. Worried Cloud out of the Grand Prix. Only eight runners in this race so far, as the rest have all retired from the session. Worried Cloud out of the race. That is super unfortunate for the Ferrari driver. Maybe just had too cold tires, and that could really affect your turning into a lot of these corners. As here goes Key round the outside at turn 11, looking for the move of the Alfa, and it looks like he was a little forced off there as Carrot Finger gets ahead with Leslie the Twig, trying to make a move on Key as well. Here comes the Aston Martin driver. He cannot get past quite yet, but Carrot Finger has made the move on Key. Now looking for the move on Ender now. The Alfa Romeo keeps ahead as Worried Cloud leaves the session as well. Carrot Finger looking for the move on the Alfa Romeo as soon as possible. Let's see if he can maybe make a move into 130R, kind of like Fernando Alonso on Michael Schumacher in I think it was 2005 that move was pulled off at. But it doesn't look like 130R is going to be the move for Carrot Finger. It's most likely going to be turn 1, where Prost and Senna made contact back in '89, and unfortunately that ended both their races. But I do believe it was I think it was 1989. Oh no, it was 1990. I think it was 1990. Now I'm getting it mixed up. It was 1990 where they crashed at turn 1, and of course that ended both the races, decided the championship as well. Now I'm getting the years mixed up because they did it in '89 as well. They did it in '89 and they did it in '90. It hasn't been the best of races for those two back in those years at the Japanese Grand Prix. I think both races did decide the championship at the end of it in terms of points and all that sort of thing. But what I was saying was turn 1 can be a difficult corner to get a good move on, you know, Senna and Prost, for example. But it looks like Carrot Finger does not want to make the move into that corner, and Ender will keep ahead of the Haas driver for now. So at this point in the Grand Prix, we're not seeing too many overtakes. I think our closest battle is Carrot Finger versus Ender. We also have a nice battle for 5th, I think, in the race. Vitesse and Reflection. Reflection right on the back of the Williams driver. But I think it might be Carrot Finger versus Ender right now. And let's see how this works out. Is the Haas driver going to try and make a move on the Alfa Romeo driver? We'll see. And we see that awesome camera. Oh, is that his Leslie the Twig that comes into the pit lane? I wonder if he got damage, or maybe he's pitting for a set of medium compound tires and a wing change. So I think he did get damage. Unfortunate to see that from Leslie the Twig, of course, because he was in a really good position, possibly to get a podium as well, maybe even a race victory. Unfortunately, he's going to be down in P7, but that could work out for him at the end of it. You know, we'll see. Oh, is that his LR Delta that is out of the Grand Prix? That could be another safety car, and yes, it is another safety car, so that will really help out Leslie the Twig now, as he's going to be exiting the pit lane now, but that is a full core safety car that has been deployed, and this has really shaked up the race now. The third safety car is out on lap 17 out of 27 laps here today. LR Delta becomes the next retirement of the Grand Prix, and I do believe he retired at, I do believe it was turn 2 and 3, that corner, that Worried Cloud spun off, I do believe. Sector 1 can be a very difficult section to get right, and we've seen a few drivers go off there. Stianza, Worried Cloud, LR Delta, a few drivers going off there. It can be a very difficult section to master. But the safety car has been deployed for the third time in the Grand Prix. Ender will most likely pit. Carrot Finger will take the lead of the Grand Prix. I think he will also pit. And like I said at the beginning, this has really helped out Leslie the Twig. He pit exactly the same lap that the safety car came out. And he could be in a really good position here. But he has pit onto 6-lap-old medium tires. So the mediums didn't work out, it looks like. But look at this. It looks like everyone is coming to the pit lane onto a set of soft compound tires. Oh, Key trying to go side by side with the Haas down to the pit lane, IndyCar and NASCAR style there, as the McLaren was looking for a move into the pit lane. He was side by side with the Haas into the pit lane there. You don't see it too often in Formula One. You've seen it before in IndyCar. That's why I mentioned that. Where some drivers do go side by side in the pit lane, but of course Formula One pit lanes are much smaller than IndyCar and NASCAR and all the other sports that you see those things happen. Surprisingly, Vincenzi stays out as Leslie the Twig gets a 5-place grid or 5-second time penalty for speeding under speeding in the pit lane. Sorry, the Aston Martin driver pitting for the soft compound tires, but unfortunately gets that 5-second penalty, and that could affect his end result as he's going to be up to 8-second time penalties. Vessier pits as well for the softs, and he has that 3-second time penalty if I'm not mistaken. But the only two drivers that have stayed on a different set of compound than the softs is Vincenzi and Ender. Vincenzi is the only one that stayed out there, as he's leading the Grand Prix now. Ender pit for a set of medium compound tires, where the rest of the grid all pit for softs. The other 5 all pitted for softs. But now that the third safety car is out, we have 7 drivers remaining. We have lost LR Delta, Worried Cloud, Stanza, Big Boy Juin, Luke Jared, and Inoshi Akai from the Grand Prix. A few drivers have been have retired from the session. That's how it goes. As we've been talking about a lot, this track is a very difficult track to drive. It's one of the most difficult circuits on the calendar. So yeah, it's a really, really difficult circuit to drive. But we'll see how it all works out with everyone. I think it's going to be an amazing race to end off here in PS Vitesse for F4. But we'll see how it all works out. And real quick, I want to say something real quickly. We're going to be, next week, we're going to be heading to another classic track on the calendar. I'm going to quickly go through just a few more things about PS Vitesse before we get this race underway, while we have the opportunity, of course. We're here at the Japanese Grand Prix, but next time out for round 12 of the championship race, we'll be heading to Brazil. We're heading all the way over to the other side of the ocean, and we'll be heading to Brazil in South America, of course, for the Brazilian Grand Prix at the Interlagos circuit in Sao Paulo. So That'll be a fun Grand Prix. Interlagos has always hosted some amazing races, and as I said, it's a classic as well. Many different drivers have won there. Many legends have won there. Many Brazilians as well. Felipe Massa, Emerson Fittipaldi, Nelson Piquet. 3 drivers, just for example, that have won here. Ayrton Senna as well. Just many different Brazilians have won the Brazilian Grand Prix. Just a fun fact there. But yeah, we'll be heading to Brazil for round 12 of PS Vitesse. And then, this is the exciting part, guys. Round 13 is one that I'm really looking forward to. And I think most looking forward to in the season, because we're going to be heading to the Emilia-Romagna Grand Prix. We are going to be heading to Imola. Yes, the Imola circuit is now out on the Formula 1 game, and we'll be heading to Imola for round 13 of the championship. And I'm going to say this amazing name of the circuit, the Autodromo Enzo E. Adino Ferrari circuit. And of course, that's the Emilia-Romagna Grand Prix for the Imola circuit, of course, in Italy. So that's for round 13. We've never raced there in PS Vitesse before. I think that will be my first ever race that I'll be commentating at Imola. So can't wait to be commentating on that circuit as well. That's going to be for round 13 of the championship. And then to conclude, we're going to another classic circuit, a track that has a lot of overtaking opportunities, and that's going to be the Bahrain International Circuit in Bahrain for the Bahrain Grand Prix, of course. So we'll be doing that. It's going to be really exciting to see these final 3 races and see who becomes champion of F4 in PS Vitesse, the first ever F4 champion in PS Vitesse, because this is a brand new tier, the first ever F4 championship. So we'll see how that all works out. But the safety car is going to go into the pit lane. Vincenzi will lead us away for the 3rd time on the safety car restart, as now he goes on the exit of 18. It's a pretty good start for the Williams driver. Pretty good start for Key and Carrotfinger. Look at this, Key trying to challenge Carrotfinger, the 2, possibly going side by side the championship leaders as Carrotfinger gets a little bit too much on the curb there. Key going round the outside of the Haas driver, the 2, side by side, down into turn 2 we go, as Key just barely gets ahead, and now trying to make a move on Ender. Key coming through the field, and that McLaren really is flying. Bevessier gets ahead of Carrotfinger as well, is now trying to challenge Key. McLaren looking for the move, and oh, there's a little bit of contact, but Bevessier loses the car a little bit, as now Reflection trying to go side by side with Carrotfinger. Reflection's got ahead, and I think the Alpine has got ahead of Carrotfinger, but no, Carrotfinger fights that one back and gets ahead of the Alpine driver. Great battling there. Bevessier just made the move on Carrotfinger out of nowhere. This driver can make a lot of overtakes really quickly. Same with Key. He was making a lot of overtakes in that first sector of the lap. Now he's trying to make a move on Ender. This is basically for the race lead. If he gets past Ender, then he should get up into P1 as Ender goes a little bit wide. That allows Key to go down the inside. He left the door open, Ender did, and there goes Key. Up into 2nd place now. Bevessier looking for the move, and now he's going for it. The Mercedes driver going to the inside line. Into 130R we go. Is he going to try and go side by side like Fernando Alonso and Michael Schumacher back in the early 2000s? Here comes the Mercedes trying to go down the inside into turn 16. Here he goes. The Mercedes driver going for the switchback maneuver possibly. Oh, a little wheel baiting there as he goes a little bit off track as well. The Alfa Romeo is also been passed by Carrotfinger, who now comes back at Bevessier. Got a better exit, and because those 2 made contact, Carrotfinger is now up into P3. Bevessier and Ender go side by side once again. A little bit of contact between the 2 as well once again. Leslie the Twig is now going to try and make a move on the Alfa Romeo driver, but can't get past quite yet. Reflection also trying to make a move on Leslie the Twig as well. Look at Key on Vincenzi now. He's been let loose, and now driver that has a little bit more worn tires than the McLaren, but he has to get past because Key was not expecting that. And if Key's going to win this championship, he has to keep ahead of Carrotfinger. That's what needs to happen here. He's going to maybe try and make a move into turn 11. Maybe Sen didn't know. He backs off there. The McLaren cannot get past the Williams quite yet, but he's coming out of the exit of turn 11 there. Keep an eye on Carrotfinger as well. The Haas driver right behind the McLaren. And Carrotfinger might make this one difficult for Key trying to overtake Vincenzi. But let's see how this works out as we come through the final last of turns of the before the straight, of course. And Key using that ERS, I do believe. Let's take a look. As no, he's actually not using any ERS, but he's trying to get past Vincenzi. We look, there's Carrotfinger right behind, just around 0.3 of a second behind the McLaren driver. Key's not going to go down the inside of Vincenzi. He's looking to make a move in the turn 1 section here. He has to get a good exit though, but Vincenzi gets a much better exit than Key, as Carrot Finger sets the fastest lap of the race. I think Key said it first, but then Carrot Finger beat that. And look at Carrot Finger right on the back of Key now. That Haas driver trying to make this difficult for Key to try and get past Vincenski, because Key, well, he's going to try and get past that Williams. He's going to have to defend against Carrot Finger. That is, I do believe, Ender that has just spun off there at the exit of 1. I wonder if there was contact with the driver, maybe just went too wide or something happened there. Yeah, he is down to P7 and has lost a lot of time to his rivals. Up in the front, the battle continues on, and now Bevessier has gone into this as well. It's a four-way fight for the victory here in Japan. An amazing battle it truly is right now, as it looks like yellow flag, that's less the twig spinning off there. We'll catch back up with that and see. But Carrot Finger trying to go down the inside on Key, but here comes Bevessier as well. Bevessier trying to get involved in this one. Here comes the Mercedes driver right on the back of Carrot Finger. Cannot get past quite yet, so Carrot Finger gonna have to try and get past Key now. The four just trading positions here, but you know who's kept his ground? Vincenski. Vincenski just keeps it going. He's keeping ahead of Key, but Key is not letting this one go. He's not using any ERS quite yet. Vincenski trying to break the slipstream to the McLaren driver, but I don't know if it's going to be enough, because that McLaren is going to have a lot of speed down to turn 1. But he's going to be under pressure from Carrot Finger and Bevessier, who are right behind as well. Much better exit this time round for Key out of turn 17. Into 18 we go. He's using ERS, he's using DRS, he's using the slipstream of the McLaren, the power of the McLaren, and the raw speed of Key goes past up into first place. Key is up into the race lead of the Japanese Grand Prix, and I told you guys, this driver was going to have a lot of speed down to turn 1, and you know what's happened? He's got it. Key is up into first place. He has made the move with the ERS and the DRS, and just the straight line speed of that McLaren. Key was just able to get past, and good move by the McLaren driver. Now Carrot Finger has to get past Vincenski, because now it's starting to get a little bit difficult, because I think the nerves are starting to creep in, because now that Key has got ahead, he is starting to bridge that gap to Carrot Finger. Carrot Finger using a lot of ERS, maybe looking for the move on Vincenski, but Bevessier is right there as well. Carrot Finger in a similar position to Key, but he gets a much better exit than Vincenski out of turn 11. They're going side by side through 12 we go, and the two looks like they have swapped positions. Yes, they have. Carrot Finger up into second place. What a move that was. He got a much better exit out of turn 11 and just got ahead. Good move. Bevessier now gets past Vincenski, who goes a little bit too wide. I think those tires just not really working out for him. As now Reflection starting to gain on the Williams driver. I think it's now just a battle for first between Key, Carrot Finger, and Bevessier. What a way to end the Japanese Grand Prix here today on lap 23 out of 27. Carrot Finger has a 1.4 second gap to Key. Because Key got past early, he was able to get that gap and build the bridge to Carrot Finger. As now he's still pushing Key. Fastest lap of the Grand Prix, 131.3. Every point counts in this stage of the Grand Prix. Every point does count. Bevessier right on the back of Carrot Finger as well, pressurizing that Haas driver to try and make a mistake. But, it's actually Carrot Finger has made a mistake. Carrot Finger spins off there. The championship leader has spun off. And that's exactly what's happened. Bevessier was trying to get past that Haas driver, and Carrot Finger just got too much on the curb and spun around. He spun around again. The Haas driver spun around again, and this is so difficult for the Haas driver. The championship leader has lost it. He's down to P5. This is a nightmare for Carrot Finger on lap 24. And now his championship rival is going to score much more points than him here today. Now it's just a battle for first between Key and Bevessier. But now that Carrot Finger has lost the car, it's just a battle between them two. But Carrot Finger still has a lot of points in the championship. He may score a lot of points today. Key may score a lot of points today, but Carrot Finger will still lead the championship. Going into Brazil, they have 3 rounds left of the championship after this one. They will still score. I think Carrot Finger has still got a massive chance of winning this. I mean, he's got so much points to keep. The gap between those two in the championship is huge. But this is actually perfect for Key. This has given us a championship fight. Really, it has. I mean, now that Carrot Finger has spun, Key's going to have another chance of getting this championship now. We're going to have a nice fight to the end. As Reflection makes a move on Vincenski. Reflection up into P3 now. The Alpine making podium count possibly. Reflection could be up into P3 now and getting those points for third place in the championship. Or third place in the... Oh, he's back to Bavessier, makes a mistake there. What I was saying is Reflection is going to grab P3 and he's going to get those points. And we'll hopefully move up into a further position in the championship. But going back to what I was saying, Bavessier has made the mistake, I think. Reflection now has the opportunity to make a move for second place in the Grand Prix. But going back to the championship, Carrot Finger still has the advantage going into Brazil. He definitely still has the advantage. It may have been a spin here today, but he definitely still has the advantage going into the next one. We'll see how it all works out, but I'm just excited that we're definitely going to be in for a nice championship fight towards the end of it. Bahrain, hopefully a championship fight between the two. We'll see how it all works out, but I'm excited. I'm really excited to see how that all works out. But anyway, Key still leading the Grand Prix by 4.8 seconds. It looks to be his win. Battle for second, getting really intense though, because Reflection and Bavessier are battling for position. Right now, they both have 3-second time penalties, so it's really just these two really battling for position for third. Because the thing is that Vincenski has no penalties, so Vincenski will ultimately get second place in the race. He will just eventually get that. That's just inevitable for the Williams driver to get that position. So we'll see how it all works out, but Bavessier and Reflection, they are battling for third in this race. They're battling basically for the podium as it stands. Because right now, it will finish with Key in first, Vincenski in second, and Bavessier in third. But right now, Reflection wants that podium. He wants to get ahead of Bavessier now and get third place in this race. I mean, he is sitting P3, but like I said, he's going to have the opportunity to get a podium. And because of the penalties for those drivers. But we'll see how it all works out. We're on lap 26 out of lap 27. When these drivers finish this lap, it will be the final lap of the Japanese Grand Prix. Mai has the time turned from the first lap of the Grand Prix to now. Key, who is spinning, I think, at the first couple of laps there, had that connection issue, was out of contention for like a top 5. And is now leading the Grand Prix. What a turnaround for the McLaren driver here today. And he's going to score more points than his championship rival. Looking pretty good for Key right now. But let's see. He's got one lap to just do it and just continue the pace that he's putting on right now. Keep the gap to Bavessier. Not get a penalty as well. That would be good. Even if he does get the penalty, it won't really matter though. But let's see. We'll see how it all works out. Keep an eye on Bavessier and Reflection. We can't really see him with the... Actually, we'll just go on to them. There we go. Reflection's got the DRS, cannot get past Bavessier quite yet. But we'll find out. But we're going to ride on board with Key, the McLaren driver, race leader in today's Japanese Grand Prix. He's going to start the final lap of the race as he passes that awesome Ferris wheel. I'd like to go on that Ferris wheel one day. I think that would be pretty cool. And watch the track from up there. That would be really neat. And he's just coming through turn 8 now under the bridge. This is one of my favorite circuits, guys. I absolutely love Suzuka. It's just a really difficult circuit to drive. But that bridge right there, it's the only track on the Formula 1 calendar that's a figure of 8 circuit. It's incredible. Love the circuit. I really, really love the circuit. But now coming through the double left-hander of 13 and 14, where Verstappen and Vettel crashed in 2018. Didn't end up too good for both of them, of course. 2018 wasn't a best season for Verstappen, and neither with Vettel as well. Vettel lost out at the championship with Hamilton, even though Ferrari had the better car. Germany didn't really work out for Ferrari. From then on, it didn't really work out. But Key, round the final 2 corners we go. The McLaren driver has put it all here today. He started outside the top 2, but he's going to finish in the top 2 as Key comes to the line, sets the fastest lap of the race, and Key, for McLaren, wins the Japanese Grand Prix in Season 5 of PS Vitesse. And the F4 championship contender will win it. Bavessier takes P2 in the Grand Prix with Vincenski in P3. I think Vincenski just lost a little bit too much. He lost time to the the Mercedes there, and my goodness, the gap between Vincenski and Reflection was 2/1000ths of a second. Finger crosses the line, says the fastest lap as well. So Finger takes it away from his championship rival, scores the fastest lap. Key may score more points, but the championship goes on to the next one. It will go on, and it definitely will be a very entertaining last 3 rounds of PS Vitesse Season 5. But that gap between Vincenski and Reflection for the podium was 2/1000ths of a second. That was insanely close. And Vincenski just lost out to that one with the time. Bevessier was able to take P2 in the race, especially with that drive-through that worked out for him in the end. So congrats to him as well. Congrats to Vincenski as well. And congrats to this guy, the McLaren driver. And Key's taking the win. Key has done it. Also, driver of the day goes to Bevessier. I think Bevessier might just get it. It's either going to be Bevessier or Key here. I don't really know. I have to kind of go over everything and see who's my driver of the day. I think we just had Leslie the Twig that just joined us as we're watching the podium celebrations with our top 3 here today. Leslie the Twig, I want to get your reaction to that race. How did that end of the race go for you?
Yeah, it weren't too bad. It's just, yeah, the connection issues for myself was just making it very hard to deal with things. Drivers are popping up here and everywhere for me, so that's where I got damaged, so I had to pit again, and yeah, that was my race run. But honestly, I will actually take P7. I know it could have been better, and I feel like I had actually decent pace here. I just didn't expect it at all, but it could have been a lot better, but I will honestly take P7 from that.
Yeah, these things do happen, you know, it's just things that happen, you know, racing continues on, you know, you got points here today. Like you said, you scored P7. I think that's some good points as well. I think besides the connection issues, I mean, like, you were up there all the way. I mean, you had a brilliant race, I gotta say, and you had the pace for P3, I'd say. You were up there, so really good pace today, and I mean, like, I know you were a little bit nervous at the start kind of thing because you were uncertain if you were going to finish this one because it's so difficult to drive. But you finished and you were incredible.
Thank you. Yeah, no, I feel like I could have had a shout for a podium there if I had all the connections and everything going. But it is points. That's not one that I was expecting to even finish, so points is just a bonus for me. How was the race for you?
Oh, it was brilliant. What an amazing race we just truly had. I mean, like, there was so many battles throughout that. Key, I think he spun at the start, had that connection issue as well, and finished P1. It was a great recovery drive for him. It was a great race for everyone here today.
Yeah, it was. It seemed like an exciting race, so I'm glad you got one, even though we only finished with 7 drivers.
Well, you know, I mean, this track can be quite difficult. We had a few drivers that made it, like, there was a few spins and stuff like that. Unfortunately, that resulted in a few drivers retiring from the Grand Prix. I think that's just how it goes in racing sometimes, you know, especially at a difficult track like this. But, I mean, it proved to be an amazing race. It really was. So, incredible job to all the drivers. Very well done. And before we end off here, Leslie the Twig, I want to get one more question from you, if you don't mind here. The Brazilian Grand Prix is next time out. What's your thoughts on that circuit, and what's your chances of getting a good result there?
Brazil for me, another one where penalties could come into play, especially with turn 1 and 2. That one I'm not expecting anything too much, to be honest. I'm looking forward to Imola afterwards. That'll be a fun race. Not sure what to expect. I've only done one race there, so I don't know what to expect points wise, but I'm looking forward to Bahrain. That's one of my strongest tracks. So, but Brazil next, yeah, it should be an exciting race. I'll take whatever I can get from that one as well. So, but I'm sure it'll be a great race.
Well, we'll definitely see. Next time out will be the Brazilian Grand Prix at the Interlagos circuit. You said penalties could come into play, especially with turn 1, turn 2. Yes, that's a possibility as well. There's a lot of factors to bring into that race, but Brazil always holds some great racing as well. So we'll see how that all works out next time out. And then Imola as well. like you said, you're excited for that one. I'm excited for that one. I hope the viewers are excited for that one. And then we round off at Bahrain. Hopefully we'll get a championship fight at that one. It will be incredible. But we'll see how it all works out. Into the last 3 rounds of the PS Vitesse Championship in Season 5. This was the Japanese Grand Prix for round 11 of this championship race. Big thanks to all the drivers for racing. Thank you guys. You put on an amazing job. Especially thank you to Leslie the Twig for joining me in the commentary booth for a few times to get some interviews and stuff like that. You did a great job here today, and I can't wait to see what you could do in the next couple of rounds.
Thank you very much.
All right, so viewers, that's going to be it from us here today at PS Vitesse. Hope you all enjoyed this one here in Season 5 in F4, of course, for the Japanese Grand Prix. And like we said many times, we'll see you in Interlagos for the Brazilian Grand Prix. But I'm Formula Jonah, signing off here today from PS Vitesse. Subscribe to the channel, like this video if you enjoyed. Also follow me on Twitch as well if you guys are watching on Twitch. And guys, we'll see you all in the next one. Peace out.